Alright fellas, welcome back to another B&B video. Today we're doing something different, something special that I haven't really done in a while because as you guys saw my Shimano SLX videos, leave a little thumb tag up here where you can go check those out. Did actually break it. I threw majority of the parts away. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. But I bought a new reel. This is going to be the reel I'm going to be unboxing for you guys. Let me show you guys the receipt. It was $179.99. From Bass Pro, so I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'll put a screenshot up. But $179.99 for this reel, or $180 pretty much. I had a gift card, so I got it $50 off. Here it is right here, looking sexy. Curado 200XG. Looks pretty good, looks pretty sweet. I'm going to be putting it on the old rod that I had for my Shimano SLX. It's a Shimano, it's just a vintage Shimano rod that my dad gave me. Purchased, it was a good purchase. I'm going to make a couple of videos about this because I'm trying to make my moolah back on it, so I need to make more videos on this reel. But that being said, I'm going to unbox it. I've not actually opened this reel at all. Go unbox this sucker. It comes in like this neat little package deal here. As you guys can see, I've not actually looked at it at all. I only unboxed it at the Bass Pro shop, and then they packaged it up so I could see what it looked like. It felt like we're actually going to be spooling it up on camera for you guys right now. But this thing is crispy, very smooth, and it's a saltwater rod. It doesn't have a digital chip like my Shimano SLX did. When I talked to the people at Bass Pro, they said that the SLX has a digital chip. That's why it broke on me, and that's why they said the digital chip just got fried in the salt water. Curado right there, 200XG. This is like one of the hottest reels on the market right now. I asked the Bass Pro guy, and he was like, yeah, 200XG is like a very high quality reel. There's the oil. I'm going to be making a video on how to clean this reel as well in the future once I come back from a saltwater fishing trip. Nope, that's the box. Curado 200XG. It's an 8 to 5 to 1 bearing ratio. Yeah, so it recommends nylon mono. At 8 pounds it wants 180 yards, 10 pounds it wants 155 yards, and then 14 pounds it wants 110 yards. So that's what I'm going to put on this. Spool it up for you guys on camera just to show you guys how to spool up this Curado reel. Once you get the new reel, you want to learn how to spool it, obviously. I'm also going to see how it casts as well and just do like a performance test on this thing in this video as well, so stay tuned here. I'm going to go grab some string. We're going to be putting it on this rod, like I said, the medium heavy. But I'm going to go down to the garage, grab some mono, 8-pound mono, and I'm actually going to throw it on this reel. So stay tuned and we'll dive right into it. Alright guys, so I got the line from downstairs. It recommended 14 pounds, but I got 15, so I like a little bit heavier line on my stuff. I'm using the Strin. It's really kind of some old line that I bought at Bass Pro a while back, so I don't really know a whole lot of the specs, but it's 15 pounds, 860 yards. I'm going to show you guys how to spool this to where you can get the exact amount that they recommend on the Shimano Curado box here. So if you look at the box, closely, you guys probably can't see that very well. Each one of these turns, so I turn it one time, that is equals to 1 yard of line on the spool. So I figured out the math, and you need to turn it 103 times in order to get the 103 yards recommended for 15-pound line. I'm going to put 103 yards on this with 15-pound line, and that should make it cast great. That being said, we're going to spool it 103 times. We're going to turn it 103 times, and that's going to give it our right amount. You'd probably want to take this slow, especially if it's your first time spooling up, and I definitely would try to put some sort of math in there because then you're going to get a way better casting. Okay, so basically we're going to start by threading the line through the eye here, go to the top and try to spool it in. Okay, so now we're going to turn it 103 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 61, 62, 90, 91, 92, 91, 100, 101, 102, 103. There we go. A little bit extra on there. Rod and stuff, so that's going to be 103 turns right there on the dot. Okay, so now that we got the 103 turns on the dot, that's going to probably cast amazing. We'll do a little cast test in this video as well. Now I'm going to put it on my rod here. Okay, so I definitely need to upgrade my rod too, so if you guys want to send me fishing line, I'll leave my link down below, or not a link, but just my email down below, or you can email me and I'll send you info and stuff like that, where you can send me stuff. P.O. box and shit. So we're going to thread that through our eyelids here, put a weight on for my tackle box, and we will go and actually cast it. I want to show you guys a little bit of the specs actually on this thing. So on this reel, you're going to have back how you open it. This thing's a little bit different than majority of the reels. Usually the magnet thing, the magnet deal is on the side here where you can actually turn it and you can get your ratio, the magnets up and everything. But on this one, it's actually down here. It's right on the bottom. I like that because it's tucked away and you can kind of see the Curado more. Oh no, all the way up to 6. You can go all the way up to 6 on the settings. So since I've been fishing for quite a while, I'm going to put mine on 3. That's what they recommend recommended. And then how you open it is you're gonna have an open and close here, and you're gonna flip it open. Oh wow, and it just pops right off. I'm not gonna get too savvy with that since I just bought the reel. I don't want to do too much investigating on that. I don't want to mess anything up right now. We're gonna put this sucker on the rod here, tie on a lure, and go out there and cast it. Because I know a lot of people, a lot of you guys, I've gotten a lot of DMs on this that people are buying this exact reel, and I wanted to show you guys how I spool it up the right way, because this is actually, so the reason I went back to Shimano, one, they're more available in stores and I could buy it today or like yesterday. I could buy it like right then and I can make a video for you guys. And personally, I've been a Shimano person for like my whole life, so that's why I just stayed stuck with Shimano. Definitely going to be purchasing a 13 fishing reel if this video does well. The more views I get, the more reels I can purchase, because moolah. So I looked at Quantum, I looked at Lose, and I looked at yeah, we really just looked at Quantum. I heard they were good reels as well. Leave in the comments what you guys are rocking nowadays. Then we're gonna head on outside and cast this sucker a little bit. Some sort of lure here that I can just give you guys like a live representation. I'm gonna go actually cast it in the backyard. I might try to cast a little lighter lure, and then I might try to cast a little heavier lure. So for my light lure in this box, I'm gonna put on a little weight right here. And I'm thinking that's going to be my very light lure. I don't know how much it weighs, but it'll simulate like a little grasshopper lure or a very smaller lure. See how it casts with that, and then I'm going to update my settings and everything and try to get that right. And then we're going to be casting this giant lizard and see how it casts. That I got in my mystery tackle box. We got that right there. That's going to be what we're going to tie on. So we're going to be using two different deals here. I'm going to tie on a heavier lure, and I'm going to tie on a lighter lure or a lighter weight. See how both of those cast. It's all an honest review, honest opinion. And that being said, let's catch you guys outside. I'm going to tie these lure on, and then we'll catch you guys outside, so stay. I'm going to change the angle in a second though, guys. So I got the reel right here. We're in the backyard. I'm going to be doing some casting for you guys into the grass here. I got the weight on there. It's pretty lightweight. Goes way too fast, as you guys can see right there. So how I'm going to update the spool is I'm just going to turn on this drag setting a little bit and get it tighter, and then you want to do that to where you can find the right setting to where it doesn't backlash all the time. It's not going to come right out of the box perfect to where you want the settings to be. And you're also going to have to do that for every lure you throw. If you throw a heavier lure, you're obviously going to want possibly a little bit tighter, so that way you don't get as much backlash. You throw a lighter lure, you want it a little bit looser, so that way you can cast it further without that drag on it. That being said though, we're going to give it a couple of whips out there and find the right setting on there. I'm also going to be messing with the magnetic drag down here. That's going to help with casting distance as well. Turn the camera, I'm going to show you guys where I'm casting and how I'm casting. Okay guys, so for Christmas, I know a lot of you guys have been getting the new reels, the new Curados, whatever. I actually bought this with my own money. So this is the Curado 200XG. Any beginner fisherman, any expert fisherman, any all-around fisherman. We're going to give it a couple of casts here, see how far we can get it to go. Okay, that was a pretty smooth cast. I'm going to do a couple casts with my thumb and a couple casts without my thumb and see which one, where I can put the drag setting to where I can get it to where I can just literally cast it and hit a tree straight up and it not backlash. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that too. Very smooth reeling. Smoother than the Shimano SLX. Just a little review here. Way smoother than the SLX and way quieter than the SLX, and have that sting with like the digital chip does. I know that sounds good on camera and all, but it does, the digital chip does get fried in salt water, like I said earlier in this video. That's because the salt water kills any electronics, and so the electronic and the digital chip just killed it. Okay, there it is right there, guys. Perfect example. Backlash right there. I don't have my settings right, so I'm gonna have to change it here. That might be a backlash that's a little bit too far gone. I highly recommend you guys throw about an 8 to 10 pound line on this sucker. You're gonna have to put a lot more yardage on there. Not too hard to get out if you backlash it. It's just backlashes way down in there. So you got to pull practically all the line out to get to where you want to go. So definitely need to tighten up this sucker right here. Probably 2 or 3 turns. Okay, there we go. We finally got the backlash out. I'm going to reel it back in. Going to take a couple of break-ins to get this thing right and a couple of different setting adjustments to get it right. But that being said, we're going to try to get the best possible casting. And I'm using the 6.6 medium heavy rod, Shimano rod that I had on my last SLX. Pretty like kind of a comparison video as well to see how I like the Curado more than I like the SLX. They are both the same price, $180 each. The SLX might have been $10, $20 more expensive. For the price, I think they're both about the same. SLX makes that sound, and I think this reel is way smoother than the SLX. The SLX was a little bit rough. Still too heavy on the, still too light on the brakes, so I'm gonna tighten it up a little bit more, and I'm gonna do a little bit on the magnet. I'm gonna go up 1 level on the magnet. The thing about this one though, guys, is it doesn't have the anti-braking. There's a little bit of slop in there when I do pull it back. So you can see it right there, that slop. The SLX had none of that. It was clear, clean whistle. You could not pull it back at all. Anti-brake was beautiful. I think over time when the anti-braking wore out, the SLX kind of gave out on me. A little bit old-time reel. This is more of like an old-time reel. It doesn't have the digital chips, doesn't have the anti-braking, doesn't have all that jazz in there that's gonna mess up the reel in the long term when I use it saltwater. So just more of a basic setup is gonna what I'll use saltwater fishing, because it's gonna be easier to cast and it's gonna last a whole lot longer. Still giving me hell on backlash. Probably because I'm using 15-pound mono. Maybe I'm not using the right stuff. You guys can leave in the comments down below. I know a lot of you guys got this for Christmas, so let me know what you guys are throwing on there as well. Man, I'm not an expert by no means, but I know a little bit about fishing, so I'm gonna hire it again. We might be throwing too heavy of a lure. I don't even know at this point, guys. This is just getting me fucked. I'm on full magnet. I'm gonna go full drag here too. There we go. Okay, I think we got it. I'm on full magnet and full tighten of the spool here. So if this messes up, I mean, this is basically like almost a drag at this point. If this messes up, then I gotta either change line or do something about that. I haven't really been using my thumb too heavy, so that might be why. I've just been kind of letting it free spool. Okay, now it barely casts now. So we're gonna loosen that up. I had it very tight, full drag. That's kind of like when you open the box up though, guys, you definitely want to put some sort of mono on there, because if you can get it dialed in with mono, you're definitely gonna be able to get it dialed in with braid. Now you might have to mess around with a little bit more on braid because it's gonna be easier to cast. But that's way better. So I think it's just because I had my dial here a little too loose. That's perfect. That's exactly how I like it. We can throw it pretty far. Now if you're gonna throw a bigger lure, I'd probably do full tightening on it. This is almost full tighten. It's only a couple turns off tight, and then I have this magnetic part on 5. I'm gonna change it to 5 and see how it rolls. Oh yeah, 5's the move. So put the 5, put it to 5, and then this guy, tighten it fully, and then turn it, 5 cranks back, and then that's where you probably want to be at. Works for the lure that you're casting, and also where you're not going to get any backlash. 5 turns is kind of what I did, but you can do 6, 7. You can kind of just feel for it. Just do like half a turn, quarter turn. Yeah, that looks good. So we got the lure right here, the lizard lure. We're gonna throw this. It's gonna be a heavier presentation, heavier profile, heavier lure all around. So we're gonna tie that on, and I'm gonna start throwing that. I'm gonna show you guys how to adjust your magnet on the side and adjust the drag deal here, fit for the lure, and cast the lure with that. Howdy fellas. So we got the lizard lure tied on. It's a little bit heavier presentation. I believe this is a couple ounces heavier than that weight that I had tied on. Just a simple clinch knot. You probably want to do a little bit stronger knot, especially for a heavier lure, but just for the sake of the video, we're gonna just use a clinch knot. It's faster, it's easier. We're gonna give it a whip here. I'm gonna step out a little bit more so you guys can see more of the cast. Okay, so like I told you guys, with the smaller weight, you're gonna have to adjust for the bigger lure. So as you guys can see, well, there's not really much backlash because I stopped over my thumb. Had I let it keep going, you're gonna have backlash out the ass. So I would cast it once, let it keep going, and see what you're working with, and then undo the backlash and try to see where you can find that perfect tune. That's really, see how I have a little backlash there, guys. You're gonna want to try to completely eliminate that, the heavier lure. Whether you have to turn it 1 time, 2 times, find that, and that's the only way you're gonna really get rid of backlash with these better reels, is just finding the right tuning and finding the best spot for it. I think a digital chip would cut down on backlash a lot, but I don't want to mess it up in the saltwater, so I didn't get a digital chip. I'm gonna let it. Perfect, no backlash, guys. I just casted it and no backlash at all. So I'm on the perfect setting for this lure. I did do one turn heavier than the last one. Very smooth on the reeling too, especially for this heavier lure. This rod also is a decent rod. It's pretty old, but it definitely was a pretty expensive rod back in the day. No backlash, guys. I'm gonna give a couple more casts here for you guys, and then we'll probably rip out the video. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys learned how to do the settings on the Shimano, how to attach it, how to do basically everything to get to your first rip out on the lake or out on the water, wherever you're fishing, how to get it started here. So let's give it a couple more whips. No backlash at all, guys. Just whip that out there, no backlash. I cannot wait to take this out on the water, guys. I'm going to be doing a video of me actually catching some bass for this thing, maybe at a golf course pond or at the coast or something of that nature, doing a video there. Though we're going to conclude this video out. Thank you guys for sticking by the whole entire video, and we will catch you guys on another B&B episode. If you want to watch the next video, be up there or down there. Want to check out the link in the description too, that'd be badass. We'll catch you on another one. Stay tuned for more B&B episodes. Check y'all out. Bye-bye.